Welcome to the Hi-Fi of Customer Experience, a podcast brought to you by cxmlab.com. It will be a short, sharp, and interactive podcast with some of the best minds in the business, and we will take 5 key questions. CXM Lab is a platform to express thoughts, ideas, and tools that drive customer experience and will enable marketers, CIOs, CTOs, and CDOs to think, reflect, and make the right choices for their brands and organizations. For more insights, you can log on to cxmlab.com. Hi Santosh, welcome to the Hi-Fi of Customer Experience podcast brought to you by CXM Labs.
Hi Neeraj, hi. Thanks for inviting me here to your podcast.
Santosh, it's great to have you with us. We are currently in the midst of a cathartic transition for businesses, marketing, and probably life. Most senior marketing professionals come from an era where there were limited media options, the customer journeys were pretty predictable and linear, brand loyalties were high, and the concept of a great customer experience was practiced by a few niche and luxury brands. The rules have now been redefined and probably in the process of being rewritten as we speak. We now live in a world where infinite connections and sources of information and influence exist. The rules of marketing have evolved before, but now they are being changed forever. This podcast will engage with senior industry leaders who are at the forefront of this battle for the consumer's mind and wallet. Undoubtedly, customer experience will drive this transformation. We are now talking to Santosh Iyer, Head of Sales and Marketing at Mercedes-Benz India Limited. We'll have a short, sharp and interactive 15-minute podcast and we'll take 5 to 6 questions and we'll see how the markets are evolving at this point of time. Santosh, this is clearly a first, Normally, global brands weather storms in specific countries and devise local strategies were required. But this global crisis probably is going to reset the way we do business. How do you think global brands will cope with this kind of situation?
Yeah, Neeraj, this is, peculiar times and very different because generally, the risk is generally mitigated with economic cycles in different countries. However, this being a global pandemic of sorts, I think the brands are affected in almost every region. At the same time, I also see something positive for global brands. For example, for us as well as for many other brands, you can see that certain markets like China, Korea, they have already gone through the curve and they are now recovering. There are certain markets which are in midst of the storm like us, and then there are certain markets which are right now entering the storm. So, as a global brand, you can see this, you can learn from the markets which have come out and recovering, deploy those best practices to other markets, and that flexibility remains. At the same time, the risk is also mitigated because it's not going down at the same time. Of course, this current crisis is of a different proportion. But we can leverage our learnings as well as the global expertise to tackle such a situation and also hedge our risk to some extent. Having said that, what it really puts into stake is the supply chain. As a global company, we also have supply chains spread across the world. And, one component not in place, you cannot still make a full car. Similarly, it goes for any products or services. So, this is something quite challenging in these times to manage the supply chain, to get things done and also continue the business moving. The bigger challenge is to keep the employee motivation up. We are all on different methods of communication, and the extended lockdowns have their own impact in terms of their motivation, because you can also only deliver a better customer experience when the employees are motivated. So that's again a big challenge for global players. How do they keep the motivation of their employees high in such a crisis situation?
Absolutely. Santosh, how does customer experience management transform over the next 2 years? And how do you think the businesses will respond to this kind of a situation?
I think customer experience was coming of age, earlier, the traditional CRM kind of a mindset to looking at a very holistic view on the customer, saying that we need to really engage the customer in different touch points and deliver a seamless experience. This realization had come to marketeers. Then it came a phase where whether CX will be handled by marketeers or you need a separate organizational setup, you need a different skill set, and different organizations were deploying different strategies and organizational design but to take care of this transformation. What this crisis will do, in my opinion, will be trigger and accelerate the real need for experience, because we are moving to a new normal. I think enough has been said in the last couple of days about the new normal, the touchless world or the contactless world, whatever we call it. And that means that we will have to deliver a superior customer experience without even maybe meeting the customer. In earlier times, even if there was a flaw in your process, you could always think that he will come to my store, he will buy my product, and that's the time when I can differentiate my brand. But today, with contactless or touchless or, you may never meet a customer in your lifetime. And in that sense, how to deliver that experience seamlessly becomes a big challenge. So this crisis may really trigger a new era in customer experience management. This will trigger CX into a clear, much more bigger leadership role. And I see this change happening because of this current situation.
Absolutely. Santosh, you made a very fantastic point that probably you will now never meet your customer. But if that happens, Santosh, how do you know your customer? How do you understand your customer? And that will become a big challenge. And I assume data and data-driven marketing will be the biggest weapon at that point of time.
I think that's clearly going to be the differentiator when you talk about customer experience and data being at core. But when it comes to data, I would also say that brands will only be successful if they go beyond the legislative use of data, because many brands try to comply with norms, but then but they still try ways and means how can we use customer data in different formats. I personally think that you have to respect the customers and the customer's data to start with, and that's where using the available data that he has allowed a brand to use and communicating with them in as much as a personal manner, in trying to customize offers, trying to customize experiences will determine the future. So data and data-led marketing has always been there, but I still find more so in the Indian context also a lot of spray and pray, even using data. That will not be pardoned by customers, because they will now expect a much better experiences when it comes to communication, when it comes to product delivery, or including commercial transactions. And we need to tailor make it, we need to cut and slice this data, but without crossing the boundaries, by respecting the customer sentiment. And I think brands will differentiate by the way they use the customer's data.
Absolutely. Santosh, what is your take on engagement, loyalty, and referral management programs that are currently run by global players? And Mercedes certainly is one of the leaders in that space. And how do you think it will change going forward?
See, when it comes to loyalty as such, of course, there are programs, there are surveys done by all brands or many manufacturers in automotive and non-automotive. But loyalty programs generally were run by brands which had high contact ratio with customers. For example, a retail outlet or even an airline industry or a hospitality or a hotel industry, because their point of contact was at least 2 to 3 times a month with the product or the service offering, and they could then run loyalty programs, be it in terms of mileage points or in terms of any credits, and that was a good way to really engage and bring back consumers. What will happen now is even I would say traditional sectors, say for example automotive or many other sectors, will really feel the need for advocacy. The need comes more because when customer shops online, when he is there in this digital space, it's a bit of black hole. And to guide a customer, there is no better way than advocacy. There is no better way than others suggesting him to buy a product. And for that, you need loyalty. You need customers not becoming your salesmen, but customers really becoming evangelists who really feel for your brand, for your product. And this now will take a different dimension. So I would be really curious, and I will also be seeing how this space develops with more and more brands trying to get into the bandwagon of running referral programs or even a loyalty program, keeping customers in the heart, and it will move beyond the traditional airline hospitality space to even other brick and mortar companies.
Absolutely. Santosh, at the beginning, you did mention contactless interactions. What is your take on digital dealerships and their evolution? Will this significantly alter the customer journey?
Frankly, for customers, the digital bit was there in terms of websites. You know, we had these websites, dealers had their website, and they used to look at cars available, maybe the feature and the equipment. But that was it, and that's what it is today. Moving forward, the next logical step one can say is online shopping. Can you look at cars online? Now you get your price, now you can book a car. But I don't think that this will replace, still has the capability to replace a traditional dealership format. What brands and dealers have to do together is to believe that they all exist for a different reason. They exist here to give customer a better experience. And if dealers and brands starts believing, then the offering on the digital space has to be significantly different from what is being offered today. For example, a customer needs a complete transaction price. He needs not only the on-road price, he needs the discounts, he needs the best offers, he needs trust that the dealer offer on the website is the best offer and he need not negotiate it further. He needs ease on documentation. He needs sometimes a consultative approach also to clear his doubts. And something till the time as an industry we don't really believe that this can be delivered. This will still be just a namesake of having online sales or having online, availability for car sales. So, but I think again the crisis brings a lot of positives, and we have seen a significant shift in markets like China and others where in the last, 2004, we saw emergence of digital players and e-commerce players after the SARS outbreak there. So similarly, this entire current setup has put a pressure on dealers. Their fixed costs are getting challenged, and definitely they will have to move into this so-called digital showrooms, but not just be a namesake, but really offer a complete 360-degree experience to customers, which goes right till not only buying the car, but also delivering at their doorstep.
Absolutely. I think we touched on this subject before, but I just wanted to get a specific response from you on the impact that Internet of Things and each car comes equipped with like hundreds of chips now and the data that is collected from the cars. How will that impact marketing going forward for the automotive industry?
Okay, that's interesting because firstly, as I said earlier, data that we collect from the car or from any device, I think customers should be completely aware on why we are using it. I think that's a fundamental responsibility of the manufacturer to educate the customer so that he starts giving data. Secondly, this data should not be exploited for marketing purposes. And if at all any manufacturer would like to do that, it should be based on customer consent. Thirdly, the customer will only be able to give data or ready to give data when he gets a value back. And there are many examples. For example, today with connected cars, you can have differential insurance premium. So if I'm a good driver, I won't mind giving my data because I know my premium will be much better in the next renewal cycle. If I go for a connected car, I can get my service intervals. I can get a flexibility in my service interval if I allow data to be shared with the manufacturer. Frankly, it's a give and take relationship when it comes to data. What can you offer to the customer where he is comfortable to share his data? How can you assure a customer that the data that he has given will be used for the right purpose? So definitely IoT and connected cars throws up a range of possibilities, be it from marketing. We had a very different use case right now in Middle East, wherein in the current COVID crisis, we sent alerts to customers in their cars. When they switched on the connect system, told them, please, it's not the right time to drive. You need to stay indoors. And so it also helps during crisis period, like the current crisis. And so there are different use cases of IoTs. It's always good provided manufacturers use it responsibly and gain the trust of customers in the long run.
Absolutely. Well said. Last question, Santosh. What skill sets will be needed in the future for customer experience professionals?
Skill sets, I think it's not about the future or the present. I think, when you look at any CX specialist, one would say he or she has to be a good people person with a lot of empathy, listening skills. They need to be agile. Of course, they have to have a strong data management or analytics and so on and so forth. But I think what you need is definitely doesn't change, that you need to be core customer focused, from your heart. Because as a customer experience leader, you need to feel for the customer. You need to keep him or her in the center of all your decision making. And that's something maybe a good storyteller. I would say a powerful storyteller can really be one of the great skill set that you can have as a CX professional. The other thing is definitely much more way to analyze data. It's not about using the latest tools to see data, but what you interpret out of that data, what sense can you make, what is something that the customer is not telling you, and what sense and what kind of marketing actions you can do to gain his experience, not to sell him a product, but to ensure that you increase customer experience with your actions. I think that's going to be something, a skill set that more and more CX professionals will have to get in period of time.
Great. Thank you, Santosh. Thank you for the discussion. Be safe, take care, and wishing you all the success.
Thanks, Neeraj, and thanks to all the audiences. Thanks for listening, and stay safe, take care. Thank you.
Thank you.